Hey, how's everyone doing today? This video, I wanted to share my first undecorated build, and it is an SD-70, and I've only ever done 2 of them so far, and I really want to do more. But this trying to find good deals is half the problem. But this one here, it's a Atherin Genesis. When Genesis was I think it's called Genesis 1.0, which be yeah, here's the box right here, like the yellow boxes. The yellow and blue box. There's like a little blue on it there on the side. Yeah, that's the box for it right there. That box. But I always wanted, since I got into the hobby there just 2.5 years ago, I wanted an engine from the province I live in, Nova Scotia. So we do have a little small railway company called Cape Breton and Central Nova Scotia Railway. And now, I mean, we've never owned an SD-70, but still, I ordered the decals and everything, and it's a very fun project. See if I can get a little bit of zoom in here. So I just used a combination of airbrushing and just hand painting, and I really had a great time with it, and I can't wait to do more. And it came out pretty nice, as far as I think. And what I like to use for paints, I like to use acrylic paint. The reason why is because if you make a mistake, you can just wash it right off. It's way easier to correct a mistake for me than trying to use an oil-based paint. And this particular locomotive here, I have the ditch lights are functional. I can make a video of it running on another video. Just feeding the wires are a little interesting, so the wires kind of go there a little bit and then go back into the chassis. But I'm sure I can figure out a better way to do that. Like I say, it was my first, so there was a lot of trial and error. And it has pretty good detail. Like I say, Genesis 1.0 is not as detailed as the newer ones, but I mean, they're still really nice. And what I used for your clear coat, and that's the thing with acrylic, you really want to use a clear coat after you're finished, so you can lock in and have the paint protected, because if you don't, it's very easy to scratch off. So I used, on this locomotive, I used micro satin clear finish. And for locomotives there are a few I want super shiny. If I want super shiny, like, I'll use a micro gloss. So it all comes down to preference, really. And the decals I had to order. And I got a lot of extra decals too, because I made, in total, I made 2 Cape Breton Central Nova Scotia locomotives. So in real life, our railway company, they just do the short line. And the company was founded back in, I do believe it was 1993, and the reason why is because CN Rail did not want to do the short line anymore, going up to Cape Breton Island. So that's how Cape Breton and Central Nova Scotia was found. But these trains go by us all the time. They're not painted black and yellow anymore. Unfortunately, this is the old paint scheme. But they got a different one now. It looks really nice, but a lot of us really favor the black and yellow from back in the 90s and early 2000s before they changed it up. Yeah, a few more details I want to add to it are some wipers. A friend of mine is going to send me down some detail parts, because I do feel like it needs a couple more. Now, the Genesis 1.0 did not come with the sanding lines, but it's not hard to fabricate those. What I like to do to make lines and grab rails, I just use the metal that's in twist ties. I just take the metal out and use those, and I find they're absolutely excellent. But yeah, this was my first undecorated build, and I love it because they're just like model kits. Like even ones you buy fully assembled, well, it's model trains. I absolutely love it. Like when I was a kid, I used to love making model planes and cars, and when I got into this hobby 2.5 years ago, I was like, man, I want to get back into doing models, but I want something I can play with afterwards. And I'm like, man, model trains. Yeah, that's where it's at. And I've been pretty hooked ever since. Yeah, and I also added some wind deflectors as this guy too. Some of that. And I display all my locomotives on a shelf, so they do get dusty. And probably some of the easiest way to just get some of the dust is to just take a brush and try your best to brush some of it off. Another little trick too is just take your airbrush and make sure it's empty, and just blow air at it, and that works really good too. Here, I'll get the other side of the locomotive here. I just gotta flip it around carefully. I don't really have to get it perfectly on there, but oh well, I will anyway. There we go. Then we see the other side. There we are. And it was a little tricky. Like I said, this is my first time. It was really tricky getting the lettering to go over the textures, and I did it. I'm gonna say the wrong way, but it did turn out. On my second undecorated build, I learned a better way to do the decals. So I did this all in one shot. But the locomotive I built after this one, which I will do a video on, I cut all the letters. So I cut the words individually. So I put the words on individually to make it easier. This one I did not. But yeah, you learn. It's all a fun part of the hobby. And I am going to put some MU hoses on it. Because I love me some MU hoses. And like I say, the truck details aren't bad. It's just the Genesis 1.0s did not have they did not have the sanding lines. But I would definitely do another one of these anytime. I really enjoyed it. And like I say, my paint of choice is acrylics because you can fix mistakes really easily if you have to. And this locomotive is not DCC yet, but I'll get there. So it's still a work in progress. I mean, it's I'm going to say about 85% finished, but there's still other details I want to get done to it. But all in all, I am happy with it. It's a very, very fun experience building these from scratch, and I absolutely love it. And eventually, I did find a Cape Breton, Nova Scotia locomotive. It took me a while to find someone to want to sell one because they can be kind of scarce. But Bowser did 2 runs of them. I think it was back in 2011 and 2013. And so our actual locomotives we had were the Century C630M. And I finally found someone to sell me one. And I got it up on my display shelf, but I will make a video of that one too. Alright, everyone, take care and have a great day. And I'll have more videos up soon.